Hi everyone, Meteorologist Emery here in the Fox 19 First Alert Streaming Center for our Friday edition of our 7:15 weekday evening weather show. We have it every single day at this time, roughly this time. A little behind here this evening, hopefully you forgive me, but we've got a lot to talk about because we have chances of rain. We've updated the 7-day forecast, and we've also got a lot of activities folks are heading to this evening. Maybe you're watching us while you're heading to Oktoberfest Cincinnati, or maybe you're going up to I don't know. There's a lot of different things you can do here this evening. There's high school football, of course. Maybe you got a watch party. Maybe you've got some alum with Nebraska or Illinois. That game could be here on Fox 19. But we've got a lot to cover with regards to the chances of rain we've got in the tri-state coming up, and then also the latest with the drought conditions here into the tri-state. So right now, live look behind me. This is our Newport Levee camera looking towards the Serpentine Wall. They got the big center stage there, and they've just got so many different things going on. Believe it or not, I have never been to Oktoberfest Cincinnati. I know, right? Hard to believe. But I'm going to try my best to go this weekend if I can. It's really hard to make time in between work schedules and everything else, and can't get the full experience, though, unfortunately, with having to go to work right afterwards. But definitely looks to be a fun time for folks who are out there here this evening. So right now it's 88 degrees. It's 7 o'clock and it's still 88, so a very warm atmosphere overhead. Now, if you look at the Fox 19 First Alert weather app and you see the rain that is anywhere near the region, well, unfortunately, does not look to arrive here because it's going to fall apart. The storms off to the north and west over towards Illinois and central and northern Indiana looks to fall apart as it gets closer to us. So we'll go ahead and widen this out a little bit. And this is the beginning of that wave of energy we told you about the last couple of days that is going to, move through tonight into Saturday morning. Now, if you watch this, these storms here that were firing up earlier towards the north of Indianapolis, going through Kokomo, pretty much falling down I-65, they've really fallen apart. It's because, again, they've lost some of that daytime heating, and it's moving into a less or more stable atmosphere right over us. And where the energy these storms were, it was right in here. It's going to hit a brick wall, basically. So as it gets closer to us, it's going to really slow down, fall apart. But we could see some activity, very light activity, mind you, late tonight into Saturday morning. Does not look to be much of anything for us, but you might notice a few raindrops. Nothing more than that. And even then, if there is anything, it's going to be less than 1/10 of an inch of rain for that matter. So we're not looking at this to be anything drought busting or helpful in any regard. Just more of a tease, if anything. But I will say that we do have better opportunities of rain as we head into early next week. We've got a slight pattern shift moving in. So this is the look across the country of different systems that are moving through. We've got this system down here towards New Mexico and Texas into Kansas and Oklahoma. We've got this activity here up towards southern British Columbia, Alberta, also down towards northern Montana. And this is part of that low pressure system here that's going to kind of swing its way into the high plains and eventually to the Great Lakes region as we go into early next week. So we'll talk about that here in a moment. I want to remind you, too, that we're live wherever you stream. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to chime in on the Facebook page, Fox 19 Facebook page, or my Facebook page at Ethan Emery WX. You can tell me all the different things you like about this weather, maybe dislike about this weather, maybe about my hair. I've seen comments about my hair. It's hard to control this hair sometimes. But anyway, we'll move on. We got temperatures today up to 93, so it was a really hot day today here in the tri-state. Our record high was 95, so very close, but no cigar for that. Morning low was also pretty warm, 63 this morning. Average low is around 56 degrees, and the record low, 39, so back in 1956. That sounds really nice, at least to me. I'm ready for the cooler weather. I don't know about you. I can certainly accept that. I'm ready for flannel season. So right now, if you try to wear flannel outside, I'm sure you're probably soaked from the sweat because it's been way too hot for any kind of flannel wear. Right now, temperatures still in the 90s, believe it or not. If you're heading out towards eastern Hamilton County, the Lunken Airport, it is still 91 degrees out there. 88 over towards Batavia, also over at CVG. 88 into Harrison, Batesville, Indiana, at 88 as well. 83 over towards Wilmington. And the dew points, the measure of the moisture in the air, still in the mid to upper 50s and low 60s. And the winds, just not been really helpful. They're around 5 to 10 miles per hour. However, even the winds that are light out there, the winds are still going to be a factor for folks who are, monitoring fire conditions. So for our firefighters, volunteer firefighters, slight breeze, even in the evening hours, people might want to try to start a bonfire or have the grill out. It's really important to be fire wise or fire aware. Being responsible with an open flame, we've said it 100 times. It's worth saying 100 more times because until the existence of fires from just irresponsibility goes away, it's something we have to repeat because it can damage not only grass, it can also damage property. And I did a story a couple days ago with the deputy fire chief over in Covington, Jimmy Adams, great guy, and was saying it was very labor intensive for firefighters to have to battle those grass fires. And depending on what state you are in, there are different burn bans. So in Southeast Indiana, issued by, I believe, the Department of Homeland Security in accordance with the county emergency manager, they issued the burn bans for their counties. And every single county in the Fox 19 Now viewing area in Southeast Indiana are under a burn ban. In northern Kentucky, excuse me, it's issued by the county judge executive, who then passes that information along to their county emergency manager, to which they share that information. So in Kentucky, a little bit different than Indiana, but you can still see most of the northern Kentucky counties are in a burn ban. The exception is Mason County. They have yet to issue a burn ban for the last couple of weeks. And then in southwest Ohio, they don't do it that way. In Ohio, it's issued by the Ohio State Fire Marshal, and in accordance to what their press release had about a couple weeks ago, any county that's in the extreme or exceptional drought is automatically in a county burn ban, even if it's just a little sliver of an extreme drought. So, for example, Warren and Clinton counties, they are officially under that burn ban. We told you yesterday that it was unofficial, but we put it on the map anyway. Now it's official. I was expecting this. But the extreme drought is only in northern Warren and Clinton counties. But, like I said, the state fire marshal, this is their words, not mine, everybody in that county is in a burn ban. And for more details, you can go to, reach out to your local fire department or your local emergency manager. They can give you more specifics, because there's a lot of intricate details amongst the burn bans of what state you're in, and even the municipality or community that you're in. They can have a little bit of different rules too. And even though some counties are not in burn bans, it's still really important to be, again, responsible with any kind of open flames and adhere to your local, sheriff, fire, emergency manager, what have you, when it comes to any restrictions there might be for fires. Because there's a reason it's been so dry. A fire can easily spread when you have winds at around 5 to 10 miles per hour with as dry as the vegetation we've had. And speaking of the drought, this is the drought monitor as of yesterday morning. You can see extreme drought conditions up here towards northeastern portions of Warren County, northern and eastern Clinton County, so over towards Sabina, really close to, I believe, Jamestown's further north, but I'm trying to remember my locations up there, a little fuzzy. It's outside the Fox 19 Now viewing area, but that's beside the point. Over towards central and eastern Highland County, exceptional drought still stands for eastern Highland County. And then here in Cincinnati, we've got a severe drought now, and folks have asked before, is this the worst drought we've had? No. The worst drought has actually been back in 2007. Now, mind you, in Highland County, dealing with an exceptional drought, this is the first time we've seen an exceptional drought in the Fox 19 Now viewing area in the 25-year history of the drought monitor. So with that, just take into account that though this isn't the worst drought we've experienced as a tri-state as a whole, the exceptional drought has never been in the tri-state before. So is it bad? Absolutely. When I say it's not the worst, I'm not trying to dismiss the fact that it's been really bad. It's just on a data level, it's not the worst. And I also don't want to hyperbolize anything, because there's a thing called recency bias, where in the moment it feels really bad. It seems significant, but when you take a step back, look at the data, it's like, okay, it's not as bad as it has been, but it's certainly bad. It's certainly impactful, and that's kind of the thing about all of this, is that though it's not the worst, though it's not the biggest headline in the world, it's still impacting folks. It's impacting gardeners. It's impacting farmers. It's impacting folks who just need water. I know in Hillsborough they've had phase 2 water emergency, limiting water usage. There are other communities that are also trying to scale back water usage in their communities as well. So it's just one of those situations. Let me go ahead and pull up real quick. I want to see if I can pull up a couple of these maps here from Steve. All right, just a second. Okay, here we go. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to chat below in the Facebook comments, and I'll do my best to answer those as soon as possible. And hopefully you've all had a good day so far. It's been, aside from the fact it's been really hot, at least the weather's been cooperative for all these different events going on in the tri-state, because otherwise it would be quite a struggle to be able to host some of the various things like the Oktoberfest. And you better to host it and be hot than it is to, I suppose, be hosting it and being drenched or have thunderstorms or severe weather. So there's a silver lining in everything, although the drought's still not great. I'm stalling for a moment because I'm trying to get all these graphics put in, and our computers have a data limit, so I'm trying to adhere to that while also talk to you guys. All right, we're almost there. Almost there. Will this work? All right, we're good. Sweet. Steve shared this graphic, or shared this string of graphics the last couple of days. I convinced him to do it. I have not had the time to download the data and upload it, just because it takes a lot of time, and there's only a certain amount of time in the day that you're here. So this is right now. So this is as of yesterday. We've got severe drought conditions through central portions of the Fox 19 now viewing area. Far northeastern counties, extreme drought conditions. Far eastern Highland County, exceptional drought conditions. But 2007 was the worst in terms of the drought monitor criteria and coverage in the tri-state. Let me show you here. So this is back in May of 2007. If you recall, this past May, it was pretty wet. In fact, I want to say we were actually at that time above normal with precipitation for most of the Fox 19 now viewing area. I bring that up because this just shows you how quickly things can change in the span of a few months when it comes to the need of rainfall. So this was May. There's June. June already, a big jump between abnormally dry to severe drought, which extends for southeastern portions of the tri-state. And again, this is back in June of 2007. We go into July. July, widespread moderate drought, portions of severe drought still showing up to southeastern counties. We go into August. Extreme drought begins to poke its way through. And then here's September of 2007. So though you might think, and it's certainly impactful, it's certainly something you can't ignore. You can't dismiss the fact that the drought has not been great this year. Is it the worst? No. This has been the worst because consider how much red is on this map. That is all extreme drought. That's the second to highest level on the U.S. drought. Now, like I said, we've never seen exceptional drought before prior to this season in the tri-state. In fact, this particular year, it was really bad with the exceptional drought down in southeastern Kentucky into eastern Tennessee. A lot of deep red through there. It was really bad in that region. In fact, I'm going to see if there's a way I can move the map here to show you that. Yep, there it is. So, at the time, if you're asking, hey, were exceptional droughts a thing then? Yes, they certainly were. And it was really bad for those folks down in eastern Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, places like that. So, that was September of 2007. Now, why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this for a reason. And it's because that, and I know I haven't shown you rainfall chances. I haven't done all that yet. I'm getting there. So, the reason why I'm showing you this is because the fall of 2007 going into the winter of 2007 into spring 2008 was a transition, and I believe it was a neutral season to a La Nina season, La Nina winter. And what we're currently at right now is we had an El Nino winter this past winter, and we're transitioning to very likely a La Nina winter. So there's a very similar parallel here with kind of how the climate's been shaping up in 2007 and now. So this is September 2007. We'll go into October of 2007. Still a lot of extreme drought conditions. I remember that year. I remember I was dismissed from school for 3 days because we didn't have any AC in our building. It was a really old building. And I think one of those days the high temperature was in the triple digits. It was really, really hot. But then November comes around and it just wipes out that extreme drought. It wipes out the severe drought. Almost wipes out the moderate drought entirely in the tri-state. And then by December, it's all gone. And why is that significant? There was a major pattern shift between that beginning of October going into November. And I say that because I do see signals of that. I really do. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to waste your time because that's not what I'm here for. I just had to set the stage, and though it was a lengthy process, but we're getting there. So let me show you this graphic here, this forecast model, and then I'll show you the 7-day forecast as this loads. So this is the European forecast model. We go into tonight into tomorrow morning, it looks like just sprinkles, maybe a light shower, late tonight into Saturday morning. Not enough that's going to dampen a whole lot of stuff. I think at best, 1/10 of an inch of rain, at best. In fact, Steve just updated the reds. Cool. Nothing new. I just wanted to double check in case if he saw something I didn't. So Sunday evening, we're going to see some pop-up showers and storms to our west. So our western counties will begin to see some activity Sunday late afternoon. So after 3, 4 o'clock, I believe on Sunday, we'll see the opportunity for some showers. I don't suspect severe weather at this time. I've been looking at different data. At best, thunderstorms. For right now, I think that there's not enough evidence for anything severe on Sunday, nor Sunday night. Monday, I also don't foresee that. In fact, I think Monday we're looking at on and off showers and storms throughout the day. Let me go play this back because I need to update this. So here is Monday morning, wet conditions, and then we go into Monday midday and then afternoon. It's going to be one of those days where you're going to have these periods of rain. So it won't be wet all day long constantly, but there will be some showers, maybe some thunderstorms, rumbles of thunder, nothing severe, but it'll just be kind of in this on and off. So you'll have a couple of hours where it's dry, a couple of hours where it's wet, and then the process continues. And then Monday night into Tuesday, same thing. Tuesday morning, looking at some wet roads. And mind you, too, if you're traveling Sunday evening, Sunday night, Monday night, maybe even to Tuesday morning, be careful on the roadways, because consider how dry it's been. You have oil leaking from your car. You have, fluids just in general leaking from cars, or from the roads that contain asphalt, which has oil in it. When it gets as dry as it gets, there's no moisture holding that oil. And that oil, when the rain does come down and interacts with the top of the roadway, that oil will lift up and be on top of the water, because oil and water are, they don't blend together. Oil is hydrophobic, but it'll be on top and it creates slick road conditions. So if you're traveling Sunday night, Monday night, and maybe Tuesday morning, be sure to drive with caution. Roads will be slippery. Just want to put that out there. So that's Tuesday. Tuesday also looks wet on and off through much of the day. So rain gear, certainly needed. Haven't said that in a while. Nice to say that. And then we go into Tuesday night, into Wednesday. A few lingering showers will be behind that. And then it looks like for a couple of days late next week, it will be dry again. However, we go into that following weekend, so September 29th, which is that Sunday, going into the 30th. We are looking at the return of rain. However, there is some discussion about a tropical system being the influence of that. But that's really far out. That can change a lot. But we'll keep our eyes on the tropics here over the next 10 days. So if you're asking about rainfall amounts, let me go ahead and answer that for you, because this does look kind of nice, believe it or not. Is it going to be enough to overcome everything? No, it will not be, because you got to consider how much of a deficit some places are in. And some places are more than 8 inches below normal for rainfall, that being Hillsborough. So here is the rainfall according to this particular forecast model. Let's play it out through Tuesday. So again, this is one particular forecast model, and it does show this is much larger numbers than I expected coming out of it from this. So let's go ahead and I'll do another map. Let's play it through here. That seems appropriate. We'll switch it to there we go. So still looks like we can still see anywhere from 1 inch to 1.5 inches. That seems really nice, especially considering how much of a deficit places are in. So that is what we could expect with rainfall, much needed rainfall at that. And then here's that 7-day forecast. And at that point, I'm going to go ahead and look at the comments on Facebook. I'm sure there's plenty. With it being a Friday night, me going on a little bit later than I'm supposed to. Steve and I were having a good conversation after the 6:30 newscast. Got me a little bit behind, but it's okay. There's that 7-day forecast. You can see there, temperatures finally getting a little bit milder. So we've got, again, Saturday high, 91 degrees after a pretty warm morning low of 67. Sunday is the first day of fall. Hard to believe that. High of 90. Clouds will increase through the day. Got that evening chance after, let's say, around 3, 4 o'clock and onward. We're looking at the increasing chance from west to east for showers and storms. I don't foresee anything severe in this system moving through. For us, we would need to have more moisture to work with for this to even give us that chance. It's just been so dry. That's a factor into this. But it will bring us rain. That's the good news. And about 1 inch of rain, though that's not nearly enough, it's going to be enough to slow down the rate of which we're seeing the drought conditions expand. And you can see their temperatures will cool down behind this rain. 83 for Monday Night Football game with the Bengals. Looks to be pretty wet for that. So if you're heading to the game for Monday Night Football, heading to the Banks, Newport, whatever it is you're doing, make sure that you get the rain gear with you because it's going to be on and off showers and a few thunderstorms. Tuesday, high of 80, and then we're in the upper 70s Wednesday through Friday of next week. And I will say Thursday and Friday right now do look dry, but that next weekend, question marks because of the potential for more rain in the Ohio Valley region. So that is the 7-day forecast. We will go ahead and take a look right now at the Facebook comments. I'll start with the Fox 19 Facebook page, and I'll check my Facebook page here in just a moment. Sarah says, hi, Ethan. Hope you're having a good evening. Hey, hope you are as well. It's a good Friday evening to get out and enjoy some of those festivities going on anywhere in the tri-state. I do know one event. If I wasn't working tonight, I would have loved to go on out to see was the Foragers Festival over in Cincinnati Nature Center up in Milford. Seeing that event, it looked awesome. I wanted to cover it, but obviously the drought takes much greater precedence, and it looks like a lot of fun. So for those of you who maybe know somebody who's heading up to Cincinnati Nature Center this evening, probably a good time. Rauda, hi from Cincinnati. Hi to you. Hopefully you're having a good evening so far. Patricia says, thank you for the good information. Yeah, that was really in-depth, and I should have probably put that after the fact for the 7-day because I just want to make that clear that it's still a bad drought. But what's fascinating is that in 2007 is worse. It was the worst widespread drought we've seen in the tri-state, but it did end pretty quickly, which I think gives us all hope that this could end rather quickly, but it comes at the expense of a major pattern shift, and I do foresee that possibly occurring in the middle of the month of October. And we'll talk about that here in a moment. Patricia said that they would like at least a little cooling. Yeah. Fortunately, we got the 70s returning, and fingers crossed, I'm not seeing any other days of 90s beyond Sunday, or any chance at least of 90s. Let's hope not. The average last day of 90 degrees or warmer is, I believe, September 5th, and it's September 20th, and we've got 2 more days to go. This is a graphic that Steve made earlier. He and I were crunching some numbers. And when it comes to the days of which we've had 90 degrees or warmer conditions, we're above normal. That shouldn't come as any surprise. We've had 36 days so far of temperatures at or above 90 degrees. And I believe that counts today. And our average is 25 days. In 2007, for comparison note, again, that was a worse drought compared to this year in terms of coverage in the Fox 19 Now viewing area. 54 days of temperatures at or above 90 degrees. So there I go. Patricia gave me a little bit more information. Ashley says, hi, Ethan from Oxford. Hey, good evening to you. Hopefully you're having a great evening. Roxy, is it going to rain tonight in Versailles, Indiana? I'm responding to you 15 minutes late. I apologize. I have not checked these comments until just now. There's a chance for a sprinkler light shower. I don't foresee it being this evening. I think it's going to be closer to midnight for you folks. Maybe a little bit earlier. I would say probably around 11 o'clock. So here, I'm going to pull up radar real quick because there is some activity to your north and west outside of the tri-state. And there are a couple little cells over towards Columbus, Indiana. In fact, what I'm going to do real quick is move that here. So we'll play this out a little bit. Let's do the last 3 hours. So moving a little too fast. Let's do the last hour. There we go. So This activity here, it looks like it's going to try to maintain itself, but as it gets closer, there's just too much stable air right down here towards southern Indiana into our neck of the woods. Now, there is a little bit of a cloud here. This far out from the radar, I suspect this is probably just a little brief light shower, nothing more than that. And it looks like it's already dying. So it's probably going to fizzle out before it makes it to you in Versailles. But you might see a few raindrops from that, and that timing in the last hour. It's from here. So I'd say it's going to be probably right around 9:30 if you see anything from that particular cell. Now this right here, I have less confidence in it of maintaining itself all the way through. I don't think it's going to do that. So if we get any kind of precipitation from this, it's going to be between 10 and midnight for our northwestern areas here. So Greensburg, Connorsville, Liberty, Brookville might see something, but it won't be a lot. It's not going to be flooding rains. It won't be heavy downpours. It's just going to be a light shower. And you might smell the rain. That's probably going to be the extent of that. Because there's still some lightning with it, but like I said, it's moving into more stable air, so it's going to begin to fall apart as we speak. And some of those storms up there, Brownsburg. So Brownsburg is getting pea-sized hail and some strong gusty winds. Not familiar with where Brownsburg is. I'm not really familiar with some of the rural areas of Indiana. I'll check that out real quick. Brownsburg. Oh, that's just north. Okay, that's this cell right here. So hey, how about that? It's beginning to get some gusty winds with it and some hail. But this, again, I'm not optimistic of it maintaining itself. It's going to fall apart. There's just not a lot that this is going to work with as it tries to make its way here. It's losing daytime heating too, mind you. Brent, how significant of a drought is needed to affect the groundwater table as far as wells drying up and such? Brent, that's a great question, and I don't know the answers of it. I have family who grew up with wells. I don't know how it affects it to that degree. That is a great question, Brent, in all honesty. If you'd like, that's a good story idea, to be quite honest. You could email our news desk and something we can have a reporter on, because it's definitely worth looking into. I don't want to give you false information. I don't want to lead you astray, so I don't have an answer for you, Brent. That's a great question. I have heard that there are folks who have wells and it has affected them, but I don't know the extent, at least. Darla says, hi, Ethan from Aurora. Teresa asking, what is a La Nina winter? It is La Nina. And a La Nina winter is a pattern where you have cool waters in the central Pacific. It's the it's the surface temperatures of the Pacific Ocean near the equator. If they're cooler than normal, it has a direct impact on our winter climate. And typically what that means is that when we have a La Nina winter, it means we have wetter than normal conditions for December, January, February, and temperatures not really affected too much one way or the other. But what's good about hearing La Nina winter is right now we're in a pretty big drought, and when you have a wet winter, it's going to alleviate that drought. But I'm afraid that for our forecast this winter, it's probably going to be a little bit warmer than average, meaning that it's going to be kind of a soggy winter. But hey, I think sogginess is definitely better than continued drought. But that's what La Nina winter is. Rachel saying, no severe weather expected for this set of rain. No, I don't foresee it right now. There's no indicators of that. Right now, this particular line here, again, it's weakening as it's approaching. There are some signals of some gusty winds. We had a report to the northwest of downtown Indianapolis of some strong wind gusts. And I think that's an indicator these storms are beginning to weaken. It's probably collapsing on itself. So that's probably what's happening if I had to guess. In fact, let me widen this out just a little bit. Let me play this out a little bit longer. Well, it's trying to grow itself, that's for sure. But it is weakening here. Notice how this right here is weakening, and it's probably going to begin to show that trend a bit more over the next 30 minutes to an hour. So you'll watch this try to grow, but I would say the next hour, watch this begin to fizzle out right here too. I would not be surprised at all, because this is along that edge of where the more unstable air is and more stable air is. We're kind of protected from that stable air, which is not good news. We want to see the rain, but no severe weather tonight, and I don't foresee severe weather Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. We have a lot more moisture working in, which means more steady rain, but the conditions don't seem really favorable for severe weather right now. Just maybe some rumbles of thunder, a good downpour maybe, and maybe a nice breeze with that rain. Elisha asks, what weather for Georgetown, Ohio on Monday? Scattered showers and storms, nothing severe, but looks like we are looking at some on and off showers and storms for you folks, not just in Georgetown, but everywhere in the tri-state. And high temperatures will be in the low 80s for you on Monday. Jeff asking rain chances for Eastern Highland County. You won't see rain in Eastern Highland County until probably Sunday night, just to be honest with you. This activity here we're seeing tonight is going to be best mostly for our western counties and maybe our southern counties. I don't foresee this being anything that's going to be felt by everybody. In fact, most people probably won't see anything. And then Sunday afternoon, it'll start to the west and then progress eastward through the evening before it becomes more widespread Sunday night. Rachel asking about any of this week severe weather. No, I don't think there's the right conditions for severe weather. So I'm going to show you the forecast model real quick. And you want to see certain dynamics that would favor, strong or severe storms. And right now what we've got over us is what we call a mid-level trough, or a kind of a wave of energy. We call it wave of energy, trough. You can look at it as a cold front in the middle level of the atmosphere, though it's not really bringing in cold weather or warm weather. It's just, let's just say, a wave of energy. It's the best way to describe it. So it's what's bringing rain right now in Indiana. It's going to swing its way tonight into tomorrow morning and move eastward and go to the Appalachian Mountains. And then here comes Saturday night and Sunday. This is part of that low pressure system that's up towards Montana and Canada. It's going to, well, the low itself is up here, so it's way up here. And we're going to be seeing kind of the sector of that, of the warmer air making its way through. So here's the front back here. And we've got kind of a warm front somewhere through here. And we're kind of caught in that. And though you might think, oh, we're in the warm sector, that might mean we have a chance of storms, strong storms maybe. No, it's just not going to play out, because there are other factors at hand, one of which, clouds are going to be increasing on Sunday. So we don't have as much of potential energy, CAPE, to work with. So that's going to be a little bit limited with that. Also, we're kind of further away from the center of the low, so that means a little bit less storm energy to work with. And third, it's going to take energy with this rain to actually reach the surface. It's been so dry, it's been so warm. It's warm, you got heat, but you need to have some good moisture. That's why when you look at severe weather, you don't just look at CAPE. You don't just look at helicity. You got to look at other things too, like dew points, warm air advection. You got to look at jet streaks. You got to look at all these different things. And we don't have all those things working together. So I don't see severe weather this week. It's just not going to work out in our favor, which is good. We'd rather see rain than we would see severe weather. Even for those of you who like severe weather. I don't think it's the right time right now because it's been so dry. Not to mention, if you got lightning and it's dry, a lightning strike could start a fire. When I was out in South Dakota, it happened all too often. And it sucks because sometimes those fires can get out of control, especially in rural areas. But thank you, Rachel. Always appreciate your comments. It allows me to be a better forecaster, to talk about all those stuff. So thanks, Rachel. Nick, what about Dent? What about it? Are you asking for tonight? Are you asking for in general? Because the rain chances Sunday afternoon are going to be for areas pretty much west of I-75, and then Sunday night, everybody. Monday, everybody. Tuesday, everybody. Wednesday, everybody. This evening, it's going to be fizzling out as it approaches. But before midnight, areas to our west of I-75 could see a sprinkle or light shower, maybe a rumble of thunder, and then through about 9 a.m. tomorrow, areas to our east will see a few sprinkles or light showers, but it will be dissipating as it gets through the tri-state overnight tonight. Jeff saying the cattle pond is dry. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I know a lot of folks out in Highland County and Adams County, Clinton County, Warren County who have just seen so many issues from this drought. So, and ponds, cattle ponds, creeks, it's affecting a lot of folks, for sure. Okay, Nick's asking for tonight. Thank you. Anytime you ask a question, if you want to know about the forecast for your location, I'm more than happy to answer. Just let me know the time frame, because I'd be more than happy to help you out. That's what I'm here for. So thank you, Nick. Tonight, again, for you folks in Dent, I think if you're asking for the haunted house or any other activities there, I think you're dry through about 10. Between 10 and midnight, there's a chance for maybe a sprinkle, maybe a pop-up, light shower. It'll be brief, won't be anything that's going to be long-lasting impact, just a brief shower. And that chance will be lingering into the overnight, into very early Saturday morning. But before sunrise, it'll be east of Dent. So you have no issues tomorrow for Dent, but tonight, see a pop-up chance. Can't rule that out. And maybe a rumble of thunder. But I don't suspect it to be quite as lit up as it is in Indianapolis right now with all the lightning strikes showing up on radar there. And Jeff, you're saying the best. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. Appreciate all of you guys chiming in. So let's go ahead and look at my Facebook page real quick at Ethan Emery WX. And then we'll have to conclude this soon. I was a little late on this, so I'm going to stay a little bit longer than I normally would. Wow, nobody's commented on my Facebook page. Okay. So, I have not fully updated the Beyond the 7-Day forecast yet in terms of the numbers, so I hate to show you that because it's probably not going to be as accurate as I'd like it to be, but I can still show it. Just know that it's not up to date exactly the way I would want to see it. In fact, what I was looking at is adding more rain chances Thursday and Friday, so that 3rd and 4th of October. And the temperatures don't look as far off as I thought they were going to be. But this is going into the very last days of September, beginning of October. So this is beyond the 7-day forecast. Highs look to stay generally in the mid to upper 70s. Lows will generally be around the mid 50s. And that's good news. We're closer to normal. That's nice that we get to finally say that with regards to temperatures. But we do have rain chances too. Again, that latter half of the following weekend into the following week with... it doesn't look like an all-out washout by any stretch, but that far out, a lot can change. But we are looking at the opportunities for showers and thunderstorms. And again, like I said, I have not updated those numbers exactly to a T like I like to. So I would just caution by saying that, it's a little bit off. But eventually, we are going to see temperatures close to normal. Very close. Still above normal through the next 14 days, but there are signs of improvement. And if you're curious, to answer, I don't want to say answer, but Brent asked about the significance of a drought to affect the groundwater table. I'm not as familiar with that. Steve would probably know that really well, and he'll be back on Monday for the 7:15 show. So if you want to ask him then, that'd be great. Like I said, you can also email our news department, it's desk@fox19now.com. That's a really good story idea if somebody wants to go out to somebody with a well, and somebody with a well can contact us and let us know how it's affecting you. That'd be really great. So I'm showing you this because there is a thing called evapotranspiration. So potential evapotranspiration is a phenomena where, everything transpires, moisture. Think of it like, you probably watch football when it's cold outside. If you watch the sidelines, you might see steam coming off of their necks or their backs. That's sort of evapotranspiration to a certain degree. It's really warm surface, really cool around, transpiring that moisture. That's probably not the best example, but a better example is corn sweat. You've probably heard about corn sweat before. The problem is that there's not as much corn sweat right now because it's just been so dry, and a lot of plants are beginning to die. So the growing season is pretty much slowed down significantly because of how dry it's been. The point is, what this is representing is the rainfall we need versus the forecast of what is to be expected over the next 30 days. So the yellow here is what we need in order to just maintain where we're currently at with the drought. So if we had this much rain in a span of 30 days, then the drought won't change a lot, if any. If we see anything more than this, that means the drought will improve. If we see less, it'll get worse. And unfortunately, data is suggesting through the middle of October, we would see about roughly 2.5 inches of rain, which is better than it was. If you recall, Steve and I have shown you this graph before, and it has shown 1 inch or 1.5 inches of rain. And so this is an improvement, and I do think that it will get better from the middle of October through the end of October as we get kind of geared into that La Nina winter pattern, which I mentioned it earlier. If you weren't tuned in at that time, what does a La Nina winter look like? I'm going to skip the explanation of what it is. It's just cool waters over the Central Pacific. It directly affects our forecast, and what it brings for us is what are the normal conditions. And I have looked at the Climate Prediction Center for their winter forecast. Hint, it is out there. It has this. But the difference is that the warm air here looks to be closer for us. So I think this winter, and we have not officially released a winter outlook yet here at Fox 19. Steve will be working on that. Something we'll be probably trying to come out with sometime in the next couple of weeks, maybe. I don't want to speak for him. But I do think, if you were to ask me, point blank, what's winter going to look like this season, I think winter is going to be soggy and mild. I don't foresee it being, not to lead you astray to the Farmer's Almanac, very inaccurate tool, But the Farmer's Almanac said cold, snowy, blustery. No, I don't foresee that. Now, could there be days with that? Sure. But overall, when you look at the overall pattern, it favors mild temperatures. It favors wetter than normal temperature conditions. And that's a recipe for, the days when you're driving on the roadways and it's pretty wet. You get a couple of weeks where it does get really cold and you get icy, some snow occasionally. But that far out, obviously, I can't give you exact finite details. But that's what the pattern does look like. And it's beginning to show signs of that. So there is hope with this drought. But until then, we've got to deal with it, unfortunately, and continue to we will continue to monitor all that stuff. Okay, one last look at the 7-day forecast. I'll pull that up full screen. I'll look it over the comments. Any last comments on the Facebook page before we'll sign off? And then I'll get ready for our newscast, which I believe we're going to be on 19.3 at 10 o'clock. And then after the college football game, we will be on with the final quarter after that game, of course. So here's that 7-day forecast. Temperatures will be in the low 90s for your Saturday and Sunday. Sunday is the first day of fall, officially in the morning hours. Monday Night Football, of course, with the Bengals, 83 degrees with those scattered showers and storms. Tuesday, 80 with showers and storms. And again, I don't suspect anything severe out of that. It just looks like periods of on and off rain, rumbles of thunder. Wednesday, a few showers, high of 79. And then we're kind of stuck in the upper 70s and low 80s for the end of next week with drier weather, but it does look like wetter conditions will move in that following weekend into the following week beyond that, going into the beginning of October. Michelle on the Fox 19 Facebook page says, good evening, I just tuned in. Is the high temperatures finally over after Tuesday? Well, that's relative, depending on what you think is hot. I do think there are some stronger indications that after Sunday, I think our chances of 90 degrees or hotter are very low. Very low. I remember back in early August, if I recall, where we got really cool. People were asking if the end of the 90s were done with. I wanted to hold my tongue because I was afraid of this, what we've been experiencing. And I do have a lot more confidence that after Sunday, the odds of seeing 90-degree temperatures or warmer are very low, in fact. But after Monday, we're going to be hovering around the upper 70s, low 80s for about a couple of weeks before conditions do show cooler conditions in October with the lower sun angle here in the Ohio Valley. So, yeah, Michelle, after Sunday, we are looking at some promise with temperatures not being quite as hot. Still above normal, so it's not quite exactly what we would like considering the dry conditions, but certainly something that we can at least look forward to. All right, there are no additional comments on my Facebook page, so I'm going to go ahead and conclude this 7:15 weather show. So thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciate you. We will be back here wherever you stream at 10 o'clock on Fox 19, as well as on 19.3. And then after the game, we will give you your latest news headlines and weather, and of course, the final quarter with all of your high school football highlights here on Fox 19. And then also, too, you can check out fox19.com/weather for more details on this forecast. And then also, anytime you need a forecast, you can go to the Fox 19 First Alert Weather app. Thank you all so much for joining us. Have a wonderful Friday evening.